Hi, AT from CNC at Home. We did a print and cut video a while back that showed how we cut this Blueberry logo off of a cereal box. And I'm basically doing the same thing, but this time with the Mountain Dew off of a case of Mountain Dew. I'll just put that right up here. What this is a picture I took with my phone. I just had cut this out, laid it flat somewhere, and took a picture with my phone. When we did the Blueberry, I put this on a flatbed scanner and scanned it. So the size of this, when I brought it into LightBurn, was pretty much the size that it needed to be. By taking a picture, the scale's out the window. And we'll see that when we bring it into LightBurn, it's just massive. And we'll use the print and cut feature and really get to see how it will scale it down to fit exactly what we need. I'm also not going to draw registration marks on this. I had done that with the Blueberry because everything's really curved and there weren't really nice sharp points. As we can see with the Mountain Dew logo, there's a number 24 up there, and so I can use one of the sharp corners of the 4 as one registration mark, and then kind of down in the lower left-hand side, there's kind of a waterfall that comes down and it makes a nice right angle, and I'm going to use that spot. We'll see that in LightBurn, how I use what's already on there, and I'll try to get them as far apart as possible just to maximize the accuracy. The further apart they are, the little tiny off that you are when orienting that, the less impact it has. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let's head over to LightBurn and see how we do that part of it. Within LightBurn, we'll want to bring the image in. I will just go up to File and use Import to do that. As you can see, the image is way bigger than my working area. If I zoom out, you can't even see the working area. I'm going to just shrink that up a little bit. So as we can see, this is way bigger than reality. And that is one of the things I wanted to show, that when we take a picture, we lose all of our scale or our reference. And we're going to want to put our registration marks here and down here and let print and cut scale this to fit the locations when we identify those on the laser, these two spots. Let's first zoom in and get a registration mark up here. All we need is a circle, so I just use the circle tool, click and drag, and hold the shift key to make sure it's a circle. I'm going to switch that over to a tool layer, and then we'll just manipulate it here or move it. And I want to get that right in the top area of that 4. And I'm using the control key as I move this around so it's not snapping to any grid marks. So that's going to be one of my registrations. And we'll zoom in down here at the waterfall, and we'll put another one down here. We'll just do the circle tool, hold the shift key. And then we'll move this so that it's right in the corner here where it's dark. There. These two circles then will be my registration marks for positioning this. We've got one down here and one up here. And it really doesn't matter how big or small this is. When we use print and cut, I'll make sure to tell it to scale this so that it fits the actual part. To do the print and cut, I'll need to select this once I've moved the laser into the correct location. Under Laser Tools, Print and Cut, I'll set that as my first target position. And then over here, I'll select this, move the laser up to that location, under Laser Tools, Print and Cut, and then set second target position. Once those are set, I will use the Align Output to Targets. That will then scale this down to fit the correct distance between these 2 points and get it rotated as well so that it cuts all the way around here. normally I would select the image, do right click, and do trace image. And because we only want the Mountain Dew logo, I would draw a rectangle around that so that it's only going to try and do this area. The problem is there's so much else going on, I'm not going to be able to get this to do just the outline that I want. I'm going to make a couple selections here. I'm going to say sketch trace, and that changes the algorithm a little bit to look for darker lines. And I'm getting some stuff down here, which I can get rid of, but it's not getting this edge across here. It's getting a bunch of stuff on the inside. Yeah, if I reduce this down, I get too much. If I go up higher, I'm not getting enough. In this case, I don't think that the trace edge is going to do what I want. Because the outside shape is relatively simple, I think I'm just going to draw some lines across here on these major points, and then do a little bit of fine tuning on that as well. So let's just zoom in over here and start that process. I'll just click my drawing tool, get right on top of that corner, click, and I'll drag up to this corner, click on this corner, make sure I'm where I want to be. And the last one, I'll just get on top of where I started, and then that'll close off that shape. Let me go ahead and select what I just did. I want to get that on its own layer, so I will get that over on the blue layer. I'll just gray out the image by turning off the output for that, and we can see that it fits fairly well. What I want to do is a little bit of cleanup. This edge has a curve to it. There's a curve in here. There's a curve down here, and there's a curve across here. I'll zoom in on here and go to node editing. And under node editing, we have many different features. What I want to do is I want to end up doing a smooth line. So I will just come on top of that line and press the letter S, and it gives me a couple handles. I'll do the same on this line, and this line. Then with those handles, I can get a little bit or a lot bit of a curve depending on what I need. I want just a little bit of a curve on this. Here we have what looks to be a good edge for this logo. Again, it's hard to see that when this is turned on. We don't want to output the whole image anyway, so I'll leave that shut off. The next thing to do then is to send this to the laser. After I've identified this point and this point with the print and cut, it'll scale this all to fit, but as you can see, this is tremendously larger than my working area. And once I've set the print and cut, it'll scale it, and we'll see the real power of that feature. Let's go ahead and take a look at the laser burn and how that turns out. I'll first do a test burn with the power set really low, and we can see if it's close or not, and then we'll go ahead and burn that off. Okay, I'm setting the first target position. Setting the second target position, and then setting the line output to targets, I've set the power really low so that it won't burn through, but we can at least see what it's doing. Let's try to do a real burn. That worked just about as well as that blueberry one. The end result was this nice little cutout of the Mountain Dew logo, like Mountain Dew. I'll have to do one for my Coca-Cola. That's my other standby drink that I do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. This was a fun example of how the scaling does what it's supposed to do. So no matter how you get your image into LightBurn, if you've got some reference points, you only need 2 of them, it can scale, rotate, and orient so that what you're trying to do matches your print in this case. If you like the content of our channel, think about subscribing, as that really helps us out. Enjoy doing your CNC at home projects. And have a do.